Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is CeeChronicles and I go by that name across all my social media platforms, which is Instagram, TikTok, as well as Facebook. So you can kindly check out those socials. And on this platform, YouTube, I post fragrance related content. And if you like that style of content and you're not yet subscribed, kindly do consider subscribing and joining the family. To those who are returning, thank you so much guys for the continued support. Now, welcome to today's video. I have 6 fragrances to showcase to you today. These are what I would call ultimate gourmands. I decided to group them in one video because these are save for one latest releases, and they got me interested in purchasing them because I was thinking, are the Middle Eastern houses going on that redundancy kind of trail where they're copying each other, because the bottles are a telltale sign and say that you're going to get one that's creamish, that's brownish, that's a kind of chocolatey tone. So I'm here to give you the lowdown, but yes, this is going to be a video that's going to tick the boxes for anybody who loves gourmands. Number 1 is going to be from the house of Oud Al-Za'afran, and this is Caramel Oud. I'm going to spray it near me there because I want space to spray the rest. Disclaimer, I do not get oud from this. If there is, then it's going to be one of the most refined ouds out there that you can hardly smell. So don't let the oud part of it make you run away from this fragrance. It does not also give me a Middle Eastern style of fragrance, right? This draws its inspiration from Tusadi, Posagia, Galleria, Vittoria, Emmanuel II. That was a mouthful, but yeah, we've got to do that. Okay, so that is where it draws its inspiration from. Do expect a creamy hazelnut, so nutty type of style of fragrance there. Coffee is going to join in the mix, but it's not a distinct coffee, right? So this two-tone type of style of coffee that you get, say, from the I think I've removed it, my Camera Coffee or Camera Kawa. Camera Kawa comes in a two-tone style of coffee. There is, yes, an inclusion of the coffee, but it's not the coffee the way we know it. And I have been, informed by a lot of people from the Middle East that their coffee is not the one that's really like distinct in your face, wake me up style of coffee. So yes, there's going to be that coffee in there, but do not purchase this. Say, for instance, if you're after a coffee fragrance, what you're going to get is a coconutty, sweet, gourmand texture type of fragrance with that vanilla tone to it, light florals there, becoming a fusion of a lot of things, but keeping a distinct biscuit accord to it. So it's not going to be surprising that some people are going to comment that you do smell of biscuits when you're wearing this fragrance, right? Caramel in this does not come across as sticky. In fact, the use of the word caramel in this particular one may be somewhat misleading, because if you like caramel in its distinctiveness or in its stickiness sometimes, or in its syrupy kind of, very sweet pushy kind of way, you're not going to get that. It is a caramel that just fuses with a coconut there and all the other notes, just making this fragrance, capture that gourmand theme without outright sticking to being caramelly, no being coffee. But if I am to put a mental shortcut, I'm going to say biscuity with wafts of florals. Lasting power, I'm not going to put at anything here because I'm wearing this one in temperatures of about 18, 20, 23 pushing it, which is our winter. Okay, so I'm not going to put a affirmative lasting power, but I'm going to rate it at about, I'm just going to throw 4 hours there, right? But that could be something that I will revisit, because profiles like this tend to be shy sometimes, when it comes to cooler weather. It does just give me something there that feels like it's going to shine more in the heat, and I haven't worn this one in the heat. So for that reason, I'm going to say it's not a beast performing fragrance, but it does have presence for about 4 hours there, where you're going to be wrapped up in a very nice nutty biscuity wrap up. It's Caramel Oud from the house of Oud Al-Za'afran. Now the next one, guys, is going to be Kissa Delicious. There was speculation that it borrowed from Billie Eilish, and I was relieved when I sprayed mine, the fact that in as much as it does have the chocolate, whipped cream, and I think some marshmallow, the chocolate in here doesn't lean it to that Eilish, mostly because there is a citrusy weight here that's pretty present, where you're going to feel that the chocolate comes across as a little bit watered down. At first, I was getting a little bit of some confusion there, thinking, is it an alcohol that's doing the most? Because it does open up with a burst of alcohol. And then as the alcohol fizzled, I could get like wafts of a chocolate, but somehow that chocolate being sort of like diluted there. So it does feel feel like the citrus weight in this is pretty present. And then there's going to be, of course, you know, those florals weight. This does not align 100% with the Billie Eilish, but if you've used a fragrance called Philosophy Fresh Cream, Warm Cashmere, it kind of vibes like this, mostly because both of them, you know, open up with a chocolatey marshmallow faint accord there, then take a buttery direction. So both of them are going to share like a buttery note and some woods there and a little bit of some syntheticness there, and somewhat of a shy coconut. So yes, this is another Gourmand, but it's not going to come across as very chocolatey to an extent that I would say if you love chocolate, buy this, but it's going to give you that wrap up of, you know, a fragrance that those who like their fragrances on the edible side are going to like. All right, so this is Kissa Delicious, another one that's performing light for me for now. I cannot put this one under Beastly. I'm going to put again this one at about 4 hours. It's quite light at the moment, but it's beautiful. And the nice thing again about this one is it's safe enough for both genders to use. It doesn't, or maybe let me just talk about the two of them. Okay, the two of them seem safe enough for you know, both genders to use. So they're yummy, but not in a to an extent of, say, girly yummy, if you know what I mean. So so those are the first two on the lineup. Next one, guys, is going to be Empire Victor from the House of Cartilage. And I think by now you know that I've been raving about this fragrance with Ajwa together on her channel, on my channel. We did a top 20. We zoomed on this one. You know, this one was the last one standing. Guys, this, to know it is to own it. All I can say is, if you don't have this, just try and save up some coins and get it, maybe even a tester or something like that. Okay, this is going to give you 3 different vanillas, and the good thing about it is the 3 vanilla variants in this do give each other a turn. So if you are able, you know, to dig enough, you will smell the pages of the different. But before we get into that, do expect in this fragrance some lemon, some caramel, and some jasmine. So there's going to be, you know, a floral accord there in the mix, as well as some cedarwood, adding a little bit of a woodiness and a spiciness. But going back to that vanilla, guys, you are going to get the first vanilla feel of, okay, what we identify as vanilla in most of the vanilla fragrances. And that vanilla transitions through a nutty tone, as though there's nut in here, but they did not list nut. Okay, now as it transitions through that nutty tone, it's going to mix with the sandalwood, and after which you're going to get what feels like a silky, smooth, cozy baking, like a cookie baking type of vanilla. And as you're enjoying that, there's going to be a third feel of that same vanilla that comes across as the most yummiest buttercream you've ever smelled, with an underlying lemony tone to it. So imagine if you ordered a cake with a lemon flavor, but the lemon not taking over, and that cake being more of a creamy vanilla wrap up, you know, of that buttercream and that caramel, but sweet but not too sweet. So I do get all the pages, the vanilla blossom and the vanilla extract, all those I get, leading to a long lasting, grown, sexy, mature, different style of fragrance. Nothing Middle Eastern in this, nothing within my collection that I have that smells like this. Gorgeous fragrance, gorgeous fragrance. You ought to try this one. Good thing about this one also is it's unisex, lasting till the next wash, full bottle worthy or backup bottle worthy as well. Sitting, guys, on our number 3 is going to be Empire Victor from the House of Cartilage. And then there was Eclair, a fragrance that Latafa probably didn't know they owed us, because in Latafa style, we're used to the woody, the spicy, the oudi, those style of fragrances, you know, turning sometimes even masculine and stuff. And this time they concentrated on what the girls had been screaming for. Now, am I saying this is only for the girls? No, Eclair is a fragrance that even a man can like. Just make sure you like those creamy fragrances built around the caramel there, some honey, some vanilla, some musk, cream, and milk. So do expect a creamy frosted cream style of fragrance there, an ultimate gourmand cut from the same cloth as Bianco Latte, representing that DNA to the T. Good thing about this one, guys, is I have a full review of it, so I'm gonna rave on and on about this one, because if you want a full review, I'm gonna pin it in the description there. Then you can go ahead and of course watch the extensive review. But I love this fragrance. Caramel in here doesn't feel sticky, nor does it feel burnt. It just fuses with a creamy creamy, with that creamy frosted cream nuance, making this one a yummy must-have in your collection. So if you love Bianco Latte, here's an alternative for you. If you don't have Bianco Latte and it turns out that this one is more affordable, or you can get a test of this, you can try. It is at par with that fragrance, so it'll give you somewhat of a representation, and you can then make a decision whether you want this one or the Bianco Latte. So when Ajwa came with the Bianco Latte, I'm gonna say this one worked a little harder. So for the performance, I might not be adding Bianco Latte to my collection. I'm going to add this backup bottle of this one instead. Eclair by Latafa is sitting on 4th position. Now, on number 5 is a fragrance that is not new. Okay, this is, I think, a 2023, could be 2022 composition, but I thought to add it here for those people that love, you know, fragrances themed in the Milky Way, you know, coffee, that sort of thing, Gourmand, that style of fragrance. This is from the House of Paris corner, and not a lot of raving went around this fragrance, and I know why. It was because it was clouded by the fragrance that it was purported to be borrowing from, which is Al Rehab's French Coffee. Now, this one is Eternal Coffee. I love this one more than I love French Coffee, guys, because this sticks to the Gourmand theme. You're going to just immediately be transported to that cup of cappuccino with frothed cream on it, you know, right there at the top of the glass, and with that coffee in there, just subtle enough. You know, it is not your wake me up style of coffee as in that French coffee from Al Rehab. It is a coffee roundup, a sweet coffee. In this, it's not the Arabian style of coffee, as I said about the caramel oud, where the caramel oud and the Camera Kawa has got a coffee that they said is like cardamom leaning and very soft and doesn't smell as beastly coffee. This smells, you know, like coffee. You're gonna get a distinct coffee feel in this one. Your coffee that has been mixed with a lot of cream, but enough to fight through and have its note come to the surface. But it's going to be a balance of that very creamy, you know, whipped cream style of fragrance with the coffee. So I thought this is an ultimate gourmand that was spoken about, and then people gave it a rest. So I thought to put it back to the limelight for those who are looking for fragrances themed that way. This, I feel, if you like your Eclair, you're probably going to love. They don't smell the same at all, but they're both built around that, you know, kind of frosted cream style of fragrance, as milky, you know, feel of a fragrance. So if you're missing on this, or you haven't added this one to your collection, it's going to satisfy you if you like the Gourmand type of fragrances. Eternal Coffee from the House of Paris corner. Now, last one on the lineup, guys, is going to be Caramel Cascade, and this one is a fragrance that I do not really have any qualms with, except the fact that social media made it go round and round as, you know, a Bianco Latte clone, and there was a lot of expectations until, of course, I was privileged to get both at the same time. So if I hadn't gotten both at the same time, maybe I would have conditioned myself to try and dig that Bianco Latte and kind of find it and extract it in this. This does feel as though it borrows a little bit from that Bianco Latte, but it's a toasty type of caramel that I get in here. You know, something that feels like a toasty burnt caramel feel mixing with the honey there, a pronounced spicy coumarin that you're going to get in this fragrance. So this is going to take even a woody tone there, a little bit of a dry feel to it there, and some faint almonds in the mix there with the vanilla. Okay, with the vanilla, but nothing in here coming across as outright yummy. I'm gonna say for instance, you're a man and you are thinking, or you like profiles like this, and you're thinking which one to buy. This I would recommend for a man. This I would outright recommend for a man, even as a blind buy, because in as much as it does have that like 40% of the Bianco Latte, it doesn't really take it to, you know, like a girly kind of creamy yummy feel. It kind of has those words that makes it gourmand, but not really as girly gourmand. Something in here that is a bit piercing as well. So it is a fragrance that is not bad, but I wouldn't repurchase, but it's enough for it to land a spot on the gourmand fragrances. So it's the last one on the lineup, guys. Also last until the next watch. This one is quite beastly. For the Tuscan line, I think this is the most beastly that they have from the Tuscan line, because the Tuscan line has presented us with like the light type of fragrances. So for its performance, you can certainly purchase it, but for the Bianco Latte, I'm going to say go for the Eclair. Unless you're a man, then this one is probably going to satisfy you. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we're going to discuss more about some of the Middle Eastern gourmands. I hope the Middle Eastern houses are going to take this direction for a while. I think they have given us a lot of Middle Eastern servings there to an extent that they are now kind of, you know, catching up to the fact that we also want some of these DNAs that align with what a lot of people's noses are accustomed to, which is why these fragrances went viral or are still viral. It's because they're relatable, okay? As long as they go for the DNAs that are complex, I still say I'm waiting for a Blanche Bit clone, and my guess is it's probably going to come from Paris Corner, but if Lattafa can do it, I will appreciate that, because I really do love my Lattafas. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.